Why are we not working? There we go. Good evening and welcome to the Arundel Camera Club meeting for Thursday, October 13th. My name is John Milliker. I'm the club president for the 2022-2023 season. The Arundel Camera Club was founded in 1957 and exists to promote the art, science, and education in all aspects and fields of photography. For more information about us, please visit www.arundelcameraclub.org. We are so excited to be finally meeting in person again, and I invite anyone watching us online that is located near or in Anne Arundel County, Maryland, to visit us at the Severna Park Baptist Church, located at 506 Benfield Road, Severna Park, Maryland. As a reminder, we're meeting in person and also virtually for every meeting except the second Thursday of the month, like tonight, which is our digital contest. Before we get to our our contest for the night, we have some announcements to make. Here is your program chair, Christine, with that.
Next week, on October 20th, we have Andrew Huff coming down from Lancaster area to give a program on taking a different path, why I moved beyond landscape. On October 27th is our next print contest. The theme is still life. On November 3rd, we have a program from Jonathan Newton, who is a Washington Post photographer. He hasn't given me a theme yet, but he gave us a great presentation last year, and I'm looking forward to him joining us again this year. And then November 10th, we have another contest with the theme of open. And then the week after that is our print contest for November, which is also a theme of open.
I want to make sure we also mention that we have a field trip coming up on Saturday, October 22nd to Cunningham State Park. Please make sure you are on our email list or also check out our Facebook page, and there will be some more information about that. And just to also mention, November 10th will be again the second Thursday of the month. Remember that the second Thursday we have our digital photography contest, and that is a virtual only meeting. And we're going to go ahead and send it over to Ron Piper, our contest chair, to introduce our judge for tonight and get us started.
Okay, and John, you might try to unmute the judge. I was not successful.
I can't unmute Ed, but Ed will have to unmute himself because Ed walked away for a moment. We muted you to get our announcements out there. Ed, on the bottom of your screen, there is a microphone button. You got it.
Okay, we're good to go.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, well, we'd like to invite everybody to our second digital photo contest of the year. The theme is Still Life, as everybody knows who's been working the last few weeks furiously trying to have some images for this evening's competition. This evening's judge is no stranger to our Arundel Camera Club. His name is Ed Palzinski. I know you recognize him from last year. You may remember his excellent critique session he did for us last fall when we were experimenting with online critiques. Ed is now, since then, has become the chairman of the MPA Contest Committee, and he hails from the Washington suburbs, where he is well known in photo circles for his work as a photographer, as a photo club leader, and as an outstanding contest judge. He's worked with other clubs as well as in addition to ours. It's a privilege to know Ed through the MPA with the Arundel Camera Club, to have him here for our 2022 digital still life contest. I had the privilege of meeting Ed at least once a month, if not more, for the various committees we've had on judging, and he's brought about some nice work for us, so we're really privileged to have him with us this evening. Ed also has a upcoming show in the Washington area that you should know about. I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about that before we move on to anything else. Ed, thank you for being here this evening and driving all the way here in the rain, right? It says one reason we're glad every now and then to have online meetings. So
yeah,
thank
no
you.
Kidding.
Welcome, and I want you to kind of pick up where I left off, if you wouldn't mind, about some of your activities.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ron. That was a great introduction. Thank you. Yes, I just wanted to let everyone know that now that we're kind of getting out and things are opening up a little bit, I was able to secure a 2-month time frame at the Delaplane Art Center for an exhibition that I've been dying to do for the last 3 years, really. And because of the pandemic, things have really kind of gummed things up. Um, for those of you who have visited my website, I've been working on a theme called Life Forms, and I was motivated by the question as to what life looks like. And taking that notion into the field, I am an outdoor photographer primarily. Um, I really, got to explore certain areas of the outdoors and certain ecosystems, if you will, asking that question. And it turns out that life is pretty much where you find it, and it's everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere. So, consequently, I've taken that theme, expanded it, and have come up currently for the exhibition for 9 images exploring that question and looking at various components of life, such as water, such as bacterial mats and hot springs, light and the role of light in life, and looking at various levels of animals, both terrestrial as well as aquatic, such as horseshoe crabs. And I end the exhibition with an image, if you will. I don't want to give away too much, but I'll let you take a look at it, which basically is the shadow of man. And I've left it kind of open to explore other images and other kind of categories of images as well. I gave Ron a couple links as well, which I hope he'll be able to distribute, because what I've done is I've taken the exhibition and I've created a self-guided tour on a YouTube video. So for those of you who can't make it or would like to make it, I actually have a guided tour of the exhibition up on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. So he has that link. And also with Delaplane, I am offering a class on November 12th at 1 p.m. And I'm doing a class entitled Black and White Photography Then and Now. It's just a quick, brief 2-hour overview of black and white photography. We'll talk a little bit about printing as well. And he has that link. And the exhibition itself will run from November 5th through December 31st. And the reception, they don't call it a reception, they call it Come Meet the Artist, is November 5th. That's a Saturday, and that'll be from 3 to 5 p.m. So for those of you who are bored of watching TV or just want to get out, and I will say, the exhibits that they have at the Delaplane Art Center are quite extraordinary. I mean, forget mine, but there's going to be a Japanese artist who specializes in bridges, and the entire museum for the month of November is dedicated to photography. So for those of you who really want to see some spectacular stuff, I highly recommend you try and make a point to come up to the museum. And thank you for letting me give that information.
Thanks a lot, Ed, for taking time on that. That's really, really helpful. I do have the links, and I'll send them out after the meeting this evening for
Thank you.
folks to use.
Appreciate that.
Now, Ed, as you may know, this evening's competition will be broadcast on Facebook Live, and that will be available there for people to watch this evening and afterward as well.
Very well.
So if you have your seatbelt on, Ed, we can go ahead and get started.
Absolutely.
Okay, this evening we have, as I said earlier, our theme is still life. And in the novice category, we've got 17 entries this evening. We're looking at the photographs for the first through fourth places and 2 honorable mentions. And so what we're going, are you still there, Ed?
We lost him, but he's back.
Okay. Ed, do you have your audio up and running again?
Oh, I don't hear Ed.
I don't hear you. For those of you at home, it doesn't take much to push the wrong button at the wrong time, and we've all done that.
Ron, while Ed figures that out, do we have any updates on, you were talking to me about the MPA photo contest. Is there anything to report on that yet?
I don't have any new information on the winners. However, we are going to put together a really nice program in a couple of weeks or so, and we'll put that out, all the information to everybody so you can all watch it live. We had about 1,000 entries this year. It's a tremendous increase, and looking forward to that to play out.
Wow. Ed, I still don't hear you.
Ed, we still don't hear you.
Maybe do a refresh of your screen. Just put the refresh button on your browser. That'll kick you out and put you back in, and we'll see if that fixes us up. And if not, I've got a telephone line I can hook up into the mixer. Get that ready.
How about
just
now?
in case. Oh,
yes,
perfect.
there we go.
Excellent. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Okay, don't touch anything, Ed. Whatever it is, it's working.
No, my mouse kind of got in the way.
Okay, not a problem. All right, what we'll do first, as you and I discussed earlier, there will be 3 rounds, and for the 17 entries, we will be able to produce 4 winners, first through fourth, and then 2 honorable mentions.
Okay, 2 honorables. Got it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and all right, we'll turn it over to John now. He's going to go through our 17 entries, so you can give a good look at that. And then the second round will be the decision round, the in-out round, and we'll follow that up after he's through his doing the first round.
Great, thank you.
Ron, do you want to read the photos, or would you like me to?
We can mix it up. I'll do this one. You can do the next one.
Give me the big one. That's fine.
Yeah.
When you're ready, bud.
Be fair. Okay. Item. All right. John, do you have up number 1?
I certainly do.
My number 1 doesn't match your number 1. Bob, are we looking at novices? No, yeah, we aren't looking at novices.
Novices, it should be does not belong.
While we figure that out, let me do the names on these for this go around. Then we'll figure it out.
Sure.
Number 1 is does not belong.
Okay. But that's not the one that's currently showing to the audience.
It definitely should be.
It's number 14 is showing, right, Bob?
Now it's number 2. Facebook is seeing number 2, which is white on white.
Okay.
I see no images.
Let me try changing this up. Here we go.
There you go.
Are we all on the same page that this is number 1 for the novice category?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's number 1.
That is number 1?
Yeah, does not belong.
My number
That's
1
on
is
Facebook.
Urban Still. I'm sorry.
Okay. That is numbered 14 for me.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what the number is.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen them all.
Okay, yeah. As long as you've seen them and you've judged them by seeing the high resolution versions on your side, and
Bingo.
we can go through here. We'll just move on. Is that okay?
It's really not. Yeah, the number's not critical.
Perfect.
Okay.
We've already introduced this one. Number 2 is white on white. Number 3 is urban still life with Panama. Number 4, Sweet Pea. Number 5, H.P. Lovecraft. Number 6, my favorite mojito recipe. Number 7, duck decoy tools. Number 8, Urban Still Life with Banana Peel. Number 9, One Does Not Belong. Number 10, Blemished. Number 11, Duck Workshop. Number 12, Wood on Wood. Number 13, Tea Time. Number 14, Copper Lion Workshop. Number 15, Mixing Cultures. Number 16, Two Sides to Every Story. And number 17, Urban Still Life with Flower Pots.
And they all came through fine. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah. I toggled my view, so I got a really good view of everything. So basically, what I'm going to be doing here in terms of the overall criteria, judging, and making selections is the definition of still life in terms of groupings of objects that can be personal, old, new, whatever. There are some very creative images within the groups that you sent me, so I was really enjoying them. And I'm going to be primarily looking for the technical considerations, namely the subject in terms of meeting the definition of the theme, and what the lighting is, what the composition, the colors, the black and white tones, etc. So through my comments, I'll intersperse some of those reasons to include or not include, and we'll go with that sort of analysis. So I have a total of 6 here, 1 through 4 and 2 honorables. So let's start with the Pumpkins and Gorge, which is a nice attempt at still life with side lighting, with a bit of negative space that's black. I think one of the things, number one, I like the composition, like the colors. The lighting is not too bad. You have a couple hot spots on the right side of the pumpkins, especially the one right up front, but I can live with that for now. But I think what would have really made this image a bit stronger is if you put, say, a cloth over the top, or to include it as part of the background to make it more uniform, because the edge of the table really takes away from the geometry of this. For now, we'll keep it in.
Number 1 is in.
I wanted to really like this particular image. I love the flowers. I love the color with the greens and the whites and the delicateness of the petals. But unfortunately, a lot of it is just not sharp in focus. And it's almost as if the photographer took this picture, then flipped it. Or I maybe would like to see it flipped the other way horizontally, 180 degrees, to give just a slightly different perspective. And in terms of the actual competition, in terms of still life per se, I think this really focuses too much on flowers per se, so I'm going to take this out.
Okay.
Number 2 is out. Number 3.
Really like this. Black and white, great tones, shadows. You've got a very nice focal point, namely the hat. And I would love to hear the rest of the story of this. Good exposure. I like the whole concept of being out on the street and doing a still life. This kind of breaks the mold a little bit, but it's still about an object that may have meaning to the photographer or another person that the photographer was shooting with or for. We'll keep this in.
3 is in. Number 4.
Lovely colors. And again, groupings, composition for still life is really, really important. And I think, unfortunately, the composition really kind of falls down here. If the photographer maybe had a different perspective of the flower that took away those bottom petals that are covering the bottom part of the purple flower, it would have made for a much stronger image. And I would also recommend removing the hint of the flower in the upper left-hand corner. It doesn't really contribute that much to the image, but I would kind of go back and rethink how you would like to compose this single flower, which I think has got potential, but in terms of some of the characteristics that I just mentioned, we'll take it out.
Number 4 is out. Number 5.
Intriguing. I would like to know more about this particular piece of artwork, if you will, and what relationship it may have to the H.P. Lovecraft book. Again, a little bit of mystery, very simple. The lighting could have been a little bit better, a little bit more dramatic rather than straight on and flat. And that's one of the most negative things that I could comment about this, just in terms of the lighting. When you do still life, the lighting becomes extremely important, and usually side light or multiple lights to really accentuate the shapes and the texture and the depth of the photo itself. So consequently, I'm going to remove this one. Take this out.
Number 5 is out. Number 6.
Yes, my favorite mojito. I really liked the concept here. What I did not like is too much of the edges being burned so light. I think maybe if you back that off a little bit and got more detail into the leaves and into the limes, I think this would have made a much stronger image. Plus, do pay attention to what's in the background as well. And maybe that's why the photographer lightened up the images to kind of remove that interference. So we'll take this one out.
Number 6 is out. Number 7.
Excuse me. Decoys. I really like this. And this is a nice attempt at doing something slightly different that you normally would see for a still life. The lighting is a little bit non-directional, if you will. I see very few shadows, and you see the edge of the table in the lower right-hand corner. That could be very easily fixed by cropping. I do like this particular perspective where you've got the tools and everything in plain view in front of you, but the lighting, again, it really is just not there. And I would like to see a little bit more of the lighting to make the images and the shapes a little bit more dramatic and have them stand out. We'll leave it in for now, but there are some obvious deficits in this image. Next.
Number 7 is in. Number 8.
I really laughed when I saw this because I immediately recognized the banana peel. And I just like the play on words in terms of still life. Obviously, this is a very dead banana and not much fruit left in it. But I'm grinning right now also because I applaud the photographer for attempting to do something like this. Again, it's a straight down image though. There's no depth to it. There's very little additional story associated with it other than this flattened banana that's obviously on its way to being recycled by Mother Nature. We'll take this one out.
Number 8 is out. Number 9.
One Does Not Belong. I love the titles, and I applaud you guys for including titles because I do think that it adds a whole other dimension to the the selection of images as well. And I really like this. This is very good lighting. You do have that table edge, but in this particular case, It's more rounded. It's not at an angle like the previous one was. So it's not as distracting. You have a beautiful background, and it really just accentuates the greens and the reds along with the color of the table. I mean, very, very nice attempt at doing a still life. And I love the concept of one does not belong with the yellow one. We'll keep this in.
Number 9 is in. Number 10.
This was great. I really like this. Here we take a theme because normally you don't see rotten fruit or whoops, I lost the image. I lost the image. There you go.
Okay.
But I love this because normally you see perfect fruit and perfect flowers and all the chinas in great shape, and you got a busted cup. This is really, really very well done. You have a nice background with the navy blue cloth. You've got a great composition, very strong geometry with the rounded bowl and the bananas and the what looks like rhubarb laid out in front also in a semicircular pattern. I really like this. This is in.
Number 10 is in. And Ron, Ed, real quick. If you lose that view again, it might be an internet connection between me and you. And what we'll do is, if it happens again, we'll have you turn off your video since we're not using it anyway, and that'll free up some bandwidth.
Gotcha.
Number 10 is in. Number 11.
Some more ducks. And again, the lighting. The lighting. This is a different perspective also from the previous one. I thought the previous one was a little bit stronger. And again, you can see some of the tools cut off at the bottom. I really would like to see the complete tool. And maybe if one were to cut down from the two heads down below and just include the duck that's on the door with a better side light, again, you'd have a better feel for the whole scene, if you will. I would go back and play with that a little bit, try different kinds of light. And again, you don't need fancy studio lighting. I have a couple, if you guys remember, these small desk lamps that were called tensor lamps. I use those, and they can be positioned for a great effect. Unfortunately, this just doesn't cut it, so we're going to take this out.
Number 11 is out. Number 12.
This one was very intriguing. I love the base. You have this convoluted, what almost looks like a liquid base, if you will, because of the shape and the curves. And you've got these very, very strong verticals, and you've got silver on black, which is very, very dramatic. It's a good exposure. When I looked at this on my own screen, some of the branches are a little bit over sharpened. You have plenty of texture here, so you don't have to overdo it because you can clearly see the texture. And I know that there's some fine hairs coming off of these branches as well. But I really, really like this. This is very, very stark and very dramatic. We'll keep this in.
Number 12 is in. 13.
Tea time. One of the detractors is lines. And that bag to the left of the teacup on top of the tea leaves just ruins the lines of this image. You've got this beautiful round cup and saucer and the spoon, and you've got the tea leaves just to the left. It's sitting on a table. You got a nice contrast with the darker tablecloth, and then it just gets ruined. It's like you've ruined your tonal variation with that pouch, what looks like to be some sort of pouch. I would go back and redo this without that pouch, and I think you'll discover you've got a much more cleaner type of image where the lines, the geometry of the lines of the edge of the bag just totally ruin the flow of the photo. My eye wants to go to those tea leaves, then to the cup and back, and I just can't see the rest of those tea leaves. So unfortunately, we're going to take this one out.
Number 13 is out. 14.
The sculptor's tools. This is actually kind of cool, although you're one of the foci of this image is obviously the lion, and that's actually making up a smaller portion of the image that I would expect. You've got a lot of negative space on top and to your left. Your tools are cut off at the bottom. I love the fact that you tried to use a sepia tone to give it an aged look. But unfortunately, you've got too many things going on here that just are acting against each other, and it just doesn't work. The light is flat, it's coming only from one direction, very few shadows, and what shadows you do have are kind of muddy. You've lost some detail in the shadows, and I'd like to see a little bit more. Consequently, I'm going to take this out.
14 is out. 15.
Nice collection. This is obviously Oriental in nature. You've got a couple of other additional Oriental images in front of the swords, and I really appreciate this. I think, though, in order to create something a little bit more dramatic, I would remove all those items in front of the swords and come back with some side lighting and really accentuate the texture and the color and the shapes of those swords. I think you've got a real nice opportunity to make this very, very strong because of those three swords and what the story behind those swords might be. I think the figurines really you just really have distracted away from those swords, because you've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things. My eye doesn't know which one to settle on, and when I do settle on it, I want to get closer. I want to see the detail. I want to see the texture. So for that reason, try removing the figurines and go back and reshoot those three swords, because I think that's the story of this image. We'll take this one out.
Number 15 is out. 16.
I'm going to kill my self view. I just lost the image again.
Okay. On the bottom, the second from the left.
Got it. I got it back. Got it back. I really like this. And again, I'm glad that you've got the titles for these, because this really does tell me a story. And obviously, the title is two sides to every story. You've got the scarlet letter and a pair of shoes. So it's like, okay, tell me more. I want to know more about this image. Great lighting, simple but yet elegant composition. I loved the fact that you've got one shoe to the left and the other one on top of the book, right above the title. So that's where your eye is drawn to, because that's the brightest part. I can see texture within the rest of the book. I can see into the shadows. Very, very nicely done. We'll keep this in.
16 is in. 17.
Flat lighting. That's the first thing I saw. Plus, you're looking at the bottom of these plants, what looks like to be on some sort of either veranda or a little patio. There's so much here to see. I don't know where my eye wants to go. You've got diagonals you've got verticals, you've got horizontals. My eye is just absolutely going all over the place. And again, I don't know what you want me to see. I don't know if you had access to the patio here, but it would have been nice if possibly you focused on that middle plant from the other side. I mean, I would have liked to have seen that, but unfortunately, this is just the total opposite view. So we'll take this one out.
Number 17 is out.
Okay.
And that is the last of the images. Let's see how many we've got.
See, I need 6. How many are left?
7.
Okay. So I need to remove 1.
We can leave them up here like thumbnails, or we can go back through them again.
No, that's fine. Just
that
like
work?
that.
Okay.
Lost them?
Yeah, let's have you turn your video off. It's the second
I
button.
did.
Okay.
I did. Yeah.
Well, I still see your video, unfortunately. So I think that
Huh.
on the bottom,
Really?
you have that toolbar. You've got a
Yeah,
microphone,
yeah.
and then click on the second one from the left, which is a movie icon.
I see camera built in. Stop camera.
There you go. And then give it a second or two and see if that catches back up.
Yes, it did. I got it.
Great.
Yep. Excellent. Okay. I need to remove 1. So what I'm going to do, unfortunately, I lost them again. I was going to say, let's remove the ducks.
Let's wait for it to come back up on your side. And
so
then,
that's the top row, number 3 from the left.
Do you have video back again?
I do.
Okay. You want to take?
So let's remove the ducks.
That's number 7. Is that right?
Correct.
That is correct.
Okay.
Number 7 is out. And now we're here with 6.
Correct.
And in whichever order you'd like to place, honorable mention to from 4th to 1st, or vice versa, whichever you'd like to do.
Okay. I'll do. Lost them.
Ron and Bob, can you see them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be something
Yeah.
on Ed's side.
Interesting. Okay. Why don't we do? I'll give you the 2 honorables first.
Okay.
So I will do the pumpkins and the Panama as honorables.
Okay. Pumpkins is does not belong. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
No, pumpkins is different.
Well, there are 2 does not belongs.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
The first pumpkins,
Okay.
which is
Yes,
does not
yes.
belong. That one there is an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then the next one is urban still life with Panama.
Right.
That is an honorable
Sorry about
mention.
that. Thank
no
you.
problem.
Okay, so we need to do 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. I'm going to give 1st place to the rotten fruit. Number 2 there, right. Blemished.
First place to blemished.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Second place is going to the Scarlet Letter, book and shoes.
2 sides to every story is second place.
I'll give 3rd place to the second does not belong, the tomatoes.
Third place to one does not belong.
And the 4th place, obviously, to the
Wood.
silver on black.
Wood on wood.
on wood. Yeah, nicely done.
Ron, do you want to read the winners?
I can, yes. And by the way, I now know the one does not belong is what was getting me confused earlier. So I'm less
There you go.
confused. All right. Our honorable mentions. Let's start. Does not belong. That's Diane Vatcher. Honorable mention. Congratulations. Our second honorable mention is Urban Still Life with Panama, John Verdi. Congratulations. Our fourth place winner is Wood on Wood. That's not true. Is that correct?
Yes.
That is correct.
Wood on
Wood.
Wood. I'm sorry, Wood on Wood. Debbie Wolf. Fourth place. Number third, One Does Not Belong, Diane Vatcher. Number second place, Two Sides to Every Story, Debbie Wolf.
Nice.
Congratulations to her and to the first place winner, Blemished by Susan Weber. Congratulations all.
Very nice images.
Yeah, nice. I mean, again, I just have to giggle when I see the blemished, and I think that was very well carried out.
Okay. All right. I guess we'll take a second to get set up then with. And by the way, when we have our print contest, I will bring ribbons along so that if any of the digital winners would like to have ribbons for their contest for their winners, please let me know. I can provide that. So we're now looking at 44 entries. So you'll be working a little bit harder this time, Ed.
Okay.
Okay, out of 44 entries, we want to first 4 through 4, and then 4 honorable mentions.
Four honorables, 8 total.
Bob, check me on that. Is that correct?
44, yes.
Okay, and 4 honorable mentions.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll do our 3 cycles through.
Yep,
3
please.
rounds. So let's do this one for the names. All right. Number 1 is work order. Number 2 is old sport. Number 3, fluorescence glass under UV.
I'm seeing no images.
Okay, that's item number 3. And it is showing on Facebook, so we are working there.
Let me go back to my toggle. Got it. I needed to toggle my view.
Okay.
I see him now.
Ed, did you see number 2?
I did not. If you could
Okay.
go back, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Start with
Excellent.
1.
Okay.
Ron.
Okay, good. Okay, got him.
All right, there's number 1, work
Right.
order.
Right. Number 2 is the baseballs and skate,
All right, old sport, number 2.
and then the fluorescence under UV.
Right. That's number 3.
Gotcha.
Number 4 is crystal gemstones and pearls. Number 5 is from the past. Number 6, a child is born. Number 7, thy word. Number 8, shell trio. Shell trio. Number 9 is westward ho. Number 10 is number 8. Number 11 is hayloft. Number 12 is Santa. Number 13, glass and wood. Number 14, jellyfish. Number 15, rose cocktail copy. I'm sorry, rose cocktail copy. Yeah, I guess that's correct. 16, New Mexico art. Number 17, chicken. Number 18, rose and vase. Number 19, parks. Number 20, components of still life. Number 21, orange still life. Number 22, rodeo boot. Number 23, sand and sun. Number 24, peacock. Number 25, tea time. Number 26, rocking chairs. Number 27, cameras. Number 28, figure. Number 29, beech leaf. Number 30, Timothy tassels. Number 31, nature's art rocks. Number 32, workers' tools. Number 33, still death. Number 34, sliced peppers. Number 35, gourds. Number 36, antique Harley shop. Number 37, contrasting masks. Number 38, Taylor headstocks. Number 39, artist tools. Number 40, fan and feathers. Number 41, vanity. Number 42, number 42, clear. Number 43, grand mirrors, glassware. And our last image is number 44, fall colors.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well,
Nice grouping.
Ed, we're going to start off with number 1, work order.
Absolutely. Thank you. Quite a selection, guys. Again, I'm going to be looking for groupings, lightings, adherence to theme. Obviously shot in an old mill setting. I like the lighting, and obviously the grouping is what you had actually seen there. I like to see something a little bit more focused, because you do have a quite a busy image here with some of the backgrounds kind of coming into play, and certainly you've got the spool and the water. I mean the paper, what looked like a schedule, etc., being right up front. And I'm going to take this one out. It's just too much for me to look at in terms of saying very deliberate grouping or something that really stands out. Nothing really stands out in this image for me to keep it in. So take it out.
Okay, number one is out.
Confirmed?
John, do you want to do this, or
Whichever. I just want to make sure I confirm it on my side.
why don't you go ahead and do this, and that way we'll make sure you've got it, and I'll pay attention to the paper.
Okay, number 1 is out. Number 2.
A lot of potential here. I love the texture and the shot of the old baseballs. I thought the skate was a little incongruous, certainly shape wise. It is a pretty good exposure. I like the concept. I guess maybe what I would have been looking for are other objects that would be baseball related. I don't see the connection between an old skate and baseball. Maybe childhood memories. Kind of taking my own biases, a step further, and maybe from that perspective, that's what this represents. So, given that, we'll keep it in for now.
Number 2 is in. Number 3.
This blew me away. The colors and the shapes and the backgrounds are just extraordinary. They really are. I've seen some very, very nice results with different and alternate light sources, whether it be from underneath or on top or the side or whatever. And this is very, very nicely exposed. Decent composition with some strong geometric shapes, namely the circles. The one deficit, unfortunately, is that bottom container with the red flowers is cut off. I would have loved to have seen the entire container within the actual crop, but we'll keep this in for now.
Number 3 is in. Number 4.
Classic still life. This is again defines the definition of the theme and genre. You've got a very simple focus, something that's been obviously put together to highlight the pearls, the necklaces, the bracelets, the glass goblet, plus you've got it reflected with some gorgeous lighting. In.
Number 4 is in. Number 5.
Again, a collection. When I first saw this, I thought immediately how the objects as a grouping are a little incongruous. You've got a wrench and then a set of books. Then you've got an acorn and a shell, then an oil can, and then whatever the cylinder is up on top. I don't know what that is, but it's dissonance in terms of the kinds of objects you have in here. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe it'll make sense to other people, but I just can't see what this is trying to tell me. So I'm going to take it out.
Number 5 is out. Number 6.
This is a tough one. You've got obviously a scene with actually not a bad exposure. The lights are a little hot. Those can be toned down a little bit, but I don't know where my eye wants to stay. It's going from side to side, then up and down. I think maybe if it were done a little bit tighter, like more of a macro shot, where you had one or two of the characters within the scene, it would have been a little bit more dramatic and a little bit better perspective. So for that reason, I'm going to take this out.
Number 6 is out. Number 7.
Very simple composition, great exposure, little bit of a reflection on the surface there, and I'm intrigued. It's like, what is this person reading? And are they reading in the middle of the night because they have a candle there? It kind of sets the mood and begs the question as to who might be reading this, why they might be reading this, what prompted them to read this, etc., etc. I mean, this is well done. We'll keep this in.
7 is in. Number 8.
Always a group of 3 is a lot more interesting than 2. So I'm happy to see 3 shells versus 2. Love the texture, love the variation in color, love the lighting. It's a nice grouping. I'm not too crazy though about maybe the whole perspective on this being the best way to shoot these shells. But for now, let's leave them in. I would have liked maybe a different sort of arrangement of the shells rather than just 3 across. Something a little bit more interactive, if you will, to show the shapes from possibly the other side as well. But we'll keep this one in for now.
Number 8 is in. Number 9.
I did not know that Ghirardelli made wagons like this. I had to laugh when I saw this, and I looked on the canvas cover to see this. This kind of reminds me of another image that's in this selection. It's almost like in a commercial shot, like for an advertisement. I would have loved to have seen maybe the candy that was in there or something else added to this particular scene, because it really is just the wagon itself and the text, which is can be sometimes, not all the time, distracting. But this is almost like a commercial. I'll take this out.
Number 9 is out. Number 10.
Another mill scene, and this is a little bit more focused. If you notice, you've got the tags and the rope, and this is the dominant feature of your image. You've got what looks like bales in the background, which don't really detract from your rope and your tags. A little bit of texture on the bottom, and the fact that they're resting on some sort of vessel like a can, maybe an old fuel can, actually gives it a lot of depth. I actually like this. The lighting could be a little bit more dramatic. It's kind of flat right up front, but you got some good shadows in here to give it some depth. So we'll keep this in for now.
Number 10 is in. Number 11.
I really wanted to like this, and I actually do like it. I love black and white. I like texture. I like shapes. But as far as a still life goes, I just felt as if it just didn't fit the theme. It's like, okay, this is kind of cool. Sure, it's got life, the hay, etc., etc. But it's like, it just doesn't fit. I mean, it's a very well exposed image. Don't let me get too negative on it here, because I can see into the shadows both in that hollow on the right where the door is, as well as up on top. But I just feel it just doesn't fit the theme as well as some of the other images do. So we'll take this out.
11 is out. Number 12.
I wanted to like this, and then I saw the bottom of the door and then noticed that this just wasn't sharp. None of the flowers are in focus. Um, Nice combination of colors and nice arrangement, but there's just too many negatives with this to make it, competitive at this particular level for this as well. I would definitely try a different background, make maybe in a contrasting color to fit the holiday season, which obviously you've got the Santa Claus here, so you've got a Christmas theme going on, but it just doesn't cut it for this particular grouping. So out.
12 is out. 13.
I love these light bulbs, and I really wanted to like this image, but the only thing that's in focus is the bulb to the left. Everything else is out of focus. I know the title is Glass and Wood, but all I see is glass. The top three bulbs are totally blown out. The acoustic guitars are just way too far in the background to take a centering role, if you will, or an accessory role, a supporting role for the image itself. And I would go back and try this differently. Try to get the lighting and the guitar or a guitar to really juxtapose a little bit more closely. I like the attempt here, but I just feel as if it's just wasn't carried through properly. So I'll take this out.
13 is out. 14.
This is very beautiful. Great color. I love, my wife actually has something similar to this, and we've played with different lighting techniques and shooting through the glass. And you can get some very, very nice effects. This is a wonderful perspective on the lighting and the actual image. I know sometimes this can be tricky, but if you look very carefully, the circular amount of light that's on the bottom of this piece of glass, it's just slightly elevated on your left. So it's not even across. So I would try and fix that or try a different lighting position so you don't have that. But we'll keep this in for now.
14 is in. 15.
This is beautiful also. This is a very favorite technique of interior designers. In fact, my grandmother used to do this. She used to take rose petals and throw them in water and put it near a radiator to diffuse the room with the aroma of rose petals. And this is a very good exposure, nicely done with the composition. Again, the only thing that I think might have worked a little bit better, I don't know for sure, although this is good the way it is to see more of the stem or the full glass. I don't know how tall this was, but the colors, the crystal, the lighting, and everything is nicely done. So in.
15 is in. 16.
A singular piece of pottery on a reflective surface. Sorry for describing, but this is very simple and really I think maybe too simple. I like to see a little bit more with these sorts of still life themes to again bring out not only the objects but the story of the objects and what they represent or who might be interacting with them. So I'm going to take this one out.
16 is out. 17.
The chicken in a basket. I had to look at this really close to notice the flowers in the broken eggs, indicating potential chicks. And then, of course, saw the configuration of the white flowers on top. And I really like this. Unfortunately, the back end, namely the top of the image, is not in focus at all. I don't know if your depth of field wasn't um, big enough, your aperture being small, or maybe if you could have focus stacked this where you could get the entire image sharp and in focus. Wonderful concept. This is really very clever, actually. And I really enjoyed looking at this. Unfortunately, it's just got a couple defects that's going to make me take it out. So out.
Number 17 is out. 18.
Very simple. 2 items as opposed to that single pot we saw before. There could be a story with this yellow rose in this particular pot. I mean, I could kind of, wax poetic on this, but here is something with great lighting. You've got beautiful black background with negative space, and you've got the pot and the rose highlighted just perfectly. Everything is pretty much in focus, nothing that is distracting. And I love the use of the yellow rose to match the coloration of the pot. So let's keep this in.
18 is in. 19.
This reminded me of the Giardelli wagon. This is like an advertisement almost, because you have all this text on these water bottles. My eye is just immediately drawn to it as opposed to your background image or the maps you have them sitting on. I mean, I like the message, but I think there just might be a better way of putting something like this together where the water bottles themselves are a commercial item. So this almost, again, like the Giardelli wagon, screams of an advertisement almost, although I know that wasn't the intent. But compared to some of the other images, which I think were very artistic and very creative, this really wanes in comparison. So I'll take this out.
19 is out. 20.
This was clever. This was very clever. You've got electronic components. You've got resistors. You've got connectors. You've got insulation. You've got end marks for wiring. I thought this was very, very clever. From that perspective, I'll give points to the person who shot this for, again, taking something that you don't normally see and creating something like this. The negatives are the lighting. Again, I know you needed to put this flat so you could photograph it, but maybe you could have played with a little bit of additional side lighting or something that would give it a little bit more drama to take advantage of the shape and texture of the electronic components, or maybe fewer electronic components. You do have quite a bit here, but it is a clever takeoff. So for that reason, we'll keep it in for now.
20 is in. 21.
I like this. Very simple. Orange on orange on orange. You've got this vase to counterpoint the fruit with the segments and the shapes and the orange cloth. I think this is very, very simple, very very well composed. The lighting could be a little bit better because it tends to be almost uniform going across. So I would kind of go back maybe and try something that comes from the side or from a different perspective to give it more shadow and give it more intrigue, if you will, to give it a story. But at this juncture, it's just a very simple sort of composition that is looking for just that one extra component, meaning the light. So I'll take that out for now.
21 is out. 22.
When I first saw this, I didn't know what the R stood for. Then I read the title. So I have to assume that the R is for rodeo. The sphere that is sitting in front of these two items, I'm not getting it. I don't know why it's there. I don't know what the relationship is. I like the concept. I like the composition. The lighting is just a little bit too much for me. Too bright. Maybe darken the background and just lower the light a little bit on the boot. Not much, but just a little. And again, to give it a little bit more depth. But I like to know what that ball signifies. We'll keep it in for now.
22 is in. 23.
Sand and Sun. I saw this and I immediately said, nah, not even close. I mean, I love the fact that you've got these sandals in the sand, but again, the bright sand, the harsh lighting, just absolutely kills this. Maybe if you took your sandals with your pail and a sandcastle and some other items associated with the beach, where you'd actually have a composition of the various objects, that would really kind of ring true to a still life composition. So for that reason, I'm going to take this out.
23 is out. 24.
Gorgeous colors, windows and shooting mosaics, or just pieces of glass that have been created into pieces of artwork can be extremely dramatic. And the colors here and the subject matter is quite nice. Unfortunately, I don't consider this a still life. This is a little bit beyond what we would consider, a true composition for still life. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to take this out.
24 is out. 25.
Amazon Basics. There's more text. You got to be careful about that because that's the first thing that people will pick up on. It's a nice attempt, but I think a different composition would have probably worked a little bit better, because here you have those hard edges of the table in the upper part of your photograph, taking my eye right through that window and out of the picture. Sure, I see the cup and the tea and the spoon and the stainless steel pot, but once I leave that, boom, my eye is off the edge. So watch your backgrounds. That's a very, very valuable lesson. Whatever you shoot, check your backgrounds first if you have time, because that'll make or break your photograph. And I think in this particular case, it kind of really ruined this photograph. So we'll take this one out.
25 is out. 26.
Rocking chairs. Here's another good example of, if you're going to shoot a particular subject, then actually work with the subject. If you look at this image, the wheelchairs, listen to me, the rocking chairs occupy a very small space compared to the rest of the picture. You've got this door on the left. You have all this stuff hanging on the wall behind. Welcome. You've got something hanging from the top of the window or the roof of the porch, plus you have the other window. I would have rearranged this a little bit better. Remove that can, put the rocking chairs together, or somehow arrange the can between the two and shoot the chairs. All this other stuff is very busy, it's distracting, and it really takes away from the story you want to tell. Um, I'm sure these rocking chairs do have stories as to who possibly used them, or maybe put some flowers in the seat of the chair or some other object that may have belonged to the person who used them to tell me a story. All right. That's really, a very, very important piece of this. So for that reason, we'll take this out.
26 is out. 27.
I always love seeing antique cameras. I mean, again, don't we all? And I thought this was a very nice composition with the book, talking about the history of photography. And it's a it's a very wide perspective and a very wide composition because of three. But I like this. This has got nice lighting, a good background, and again, a grouping of three. And I can see each camera perfectly. I can read the numbers off of each camera with no problem. We'll keep it in.
27 is in. 28.
I really like this. This is obviously someone's older instrument, a violin. Looks like you have 4 strings here with some cracking of the varnish and some wear marks within the lower right-hand side of the violin where you would probably draw your bow. And this again, I want to know more about the instrument. It's not a grouping per se, but I think that it's telling me or trying to tell me some sort of story about this particular instrument. And that is usually the case where you have people saying, oh, this used to be my grandmother's or my cousin's and he gave it to me, or my dad's, or whatever. So I would like to know a little bit more about this. We'll keep this in for now.
28 is in. 29.
Very intriguing. Obviously, when you first look at this and you look at the different colors, it looks like the photographer processed this to come up with really this increased amount of color variation. I mean, you look at leaves, you tend to think that they're green, but you have a lot of texture, and you have a lot of texture underneath as well. This is almost like an abstract, if you will, but it is a nice grouping, and it's got some nice shapes and colors associated with it. Very unusual, but for now, let's keep it in.
29 is in. 30.
Again, another group of 3 with the field grass gone to seed, if you will, nicely framed. I love the black background, and you've got a nice diagonal going on here, giving it some visual tension and really complementary grays around your black. Maybe it could have been cropped a little bit more closely on the right and the bottom to match the other 2 sides. But that's just a minor consideration at this juncture. But very simple, nice grouping, definitely a still life. We'll keep it in for now.
30 is in. 31.
I struggled with this. This is almost looking at a study of color and texture as opposed to a still life. I know that rocks are still, but again, I was trying to find what the what this image is all about. Not just the colors and the shapes and the arrangement of the stones. And I just really struggled with this to see how it compares to the other images within the competition. And because of that, I just took it out.
31 is out. 32.
This is an unusual takeoff on still life, but here you do have the implements, if you will, or a story about a workman, obviously with his boots, and you've got some sacks hanging up on the side of the wall with the broom there too. It's not a bad exposure. The boots are a little hot. Those could be toned down a little bit. You can see the shadow of the sun cutting through the broom a little bit. So maybe a gradient would work very easily there to bring down bring down the hot spot there. You can see into the shadows, and intriguing. Excuse me. I'd like to know more about this image, so we'll keep it in for now.
32 is in. 33.
This sent chills down my spine. I immediately picked up on what the message was. Very, very powerful. You've got the syringes with various liquids. You've got the pills in the pharmaceutical type containers with the lip. And then, of course, this eerie looking liquid right in the middle that's lit very, very dramatically. Certainly a different takeoff on still life, without question. But again, very creative. It sends a message. I mean, it doesn't take much to really imagine, an image like this, having people react to it. So I commend the photographer for really creating such a very very dramatic image. In
33 is in. 34.
Very simple, but you can never beat the color red. Red just stands out on just about any photograph that you're doing. You've got an antique knife, probably from some foreign country that the photographer visited, cutting a couple peppers, and it's a nice arrangement, good background, nice lighting. Let's keep it in for now.
34 is in. 35.
This is very clever. I really like this. Not only do you have pumpkins and gourds, but the photographer added in flowers. So you've got this wonderful mix of textures, not just the singular texture of the gourds and pumpkins, but now you have the texture and colors of flowers, which really softens the overall image because of that. And it gives it a lot more depth also, which I thought was a very nice thing to do to really kind of accentuate what you're photographing. So this one's in.
35 is in. 36.
I immediately picked up on the gas tanks from the old Harleys, and then of course I read the one lettering on the one tank there. And shooting old shops is really cool. I think though, I wish the photographer had given a little bit more space to this image. I think it's cropped a little bit too tightly on the left and the right, possibly the bottom. I don't know what was there. Okay. And I would have tried also a slightly different perspective to really dramatize the shape and the volume of those gas tanks, because these are three-dimensional. And from this perspective, they're very flat. They don't give you a lot of depth. I think maybe if you went to the side and shot these a little bit, that would have given you what you wanted. This was shot straight on, so you get that flatness, if you will, and that's unfortunate because I think this image really had a lot of great potential. So I'll take this out.
36 is out. 37.
This is a great attempt. I like the masks. The colors are great, especially on the one on the left that's lit up very nicely. Unfortunately, the black mask on the right side of the mask is just it just doesn't come through as well as the left side. I'm talking about the left side of the mask and the right side, not our right and left. To give it a little bit more point counterpoint. Plus, you have a little bit too much negative space in here. The whole top of the image does not contribute at all to the two masks. I don't know if you could have added a third item to this or tried a different composition of the masks. Maybe these are a male and a female mask, and maybe create some sort of visual tension or visual interaction other than just showing the mask. I would go back and play with this because the masks are truly beautiful. They really are very, very nice. And it's not a bad photograph, but I just think you've got the ability here to maybe add more to this image to make it more interesting and more dramatic than what it is right here. For that reason, we'll take it out. But this is a great start. This is a very good start.
37 is out. 38.
I saw this, and of course, the first thing I did was I counted how many adjusting knobs there were, and there are 12. So I assume this is a 12-string guitar. Sorry. I actually used to play a 12-string, so that's why I was curious. And I like the notion of shooting the back of the neck here and not the strings to show the detail, to show what it is. The lighting is not too bad. You've got another instrument in the background, and you've got this beautiful wood grain, but I don't get still life from this. I just don't get the aboutness. I mean, what is this image about? It's literally just showing me the back neck and the 12 adjusting knobs. So for that reason, I'm going to take it out.
38 is out. 39.
Artist tools. This is good. Very simple, very straightforward. I would like to have seen, though, some better detail in the darker brush as well as the pen. I think that's one of the major faults of this image. I like the concept. I like what you're trying to do here. I like the colors. I like the lighting. Go back, though, and try and fix those shadows to give me some detail. I mean, you've just totally lost detail in that third brush to the right. That's very dark. I just lose everything. And the same thing with the red pen off to the right. Just go back and try and bring that up and see if that works. So we'll take this out.
39 is out. 40.
Wonderful still life. You've got a grouping of objects. You've got complementary colors. I love the use of the what looks like to be depression glass. That's a very lovely color, which complements the fan. And you've got a nice dark background, and everything is counterpointed by the feather, the peacock feather. This is actually very, very nicely done. I could very easily see a story or even a poem or maybe a haiku that this sort of image could generate. And that's the beauty of doing still life and being able to possibly tell a story. So this is in.
40 is in. Number 41.
This is great also. This is very in terms of telling a story, some people will actually characterize images as being lyrical, meaning they almost talk to you. And I love what the photographer did here with the lipstick, namely everything else is in black and white and grayscale, but yet the tip of the lipstick, which obviously is red in both the actual lipstick as well as the reflection. The brush on the right and the comb are a little hot, so I would try and fix that to give me a little bit more texture, more on the brush than the comb per se. But again, my eye is drawn to those very, very bright spots on this image. The other thing, and I don't know if the photographer could do this, but I think having an image like this with the mirror, I would like to see this image with the reflection of a person's face in that mirror. And that to me, I think would be haunting. So just a thought for the next time you try this. But this will be in.
Number 41 is in. 42.
I really wanted to include this, but this is such a simple collection, if you will. I like the objects that are in this image. I like the fact that you've got this tape across the bottom for the crime scene, but the way the images are placed just doesn't do anything. It's like, how would you arrange these to make possibly a better story? This could very easily be turned into a whodunit. And what was the tool? What did our client in? What did our victim in? Was it the rope? Was it the pipe? Was it the knife? It's a whodunit sort of image. In fact, it's called Clue. Okay, duh. But I just would have liked to have seen a little bit better arrangement of the actual items. So for that reason, I'll take it out.
42 is out. 43.
A plethora of color, and I would dare say too much color. You've got these reds and greens and pinks that all kind of go with one another, and then they got blown apart by this blue thing with these clear balls that are in there. It just ruined it for me. I would have preferred, if you take that blue, what looks like a stylized basket with those clear balls, take that out and work with the other colors and textures that you have here and see how that works. You do have what looks like to be a bad specular highlight at about 1 o'clock in your image. I don't know exactly if that was your lighting or whatever. But everything else matches. That blue doesn't. It's just very discordant, if you will. It just takes it away from what you already have there. So try removing that and go back and reshoot this. So out.
43 is out. And 44.
Here's another image that again, at first blush is very attractive. Let me say that, number one. But this is not a still life. This is running water. And I love the fact that you've got the leaves there, but this really is a very small portion of the overall image. This is really about the water rushing around the rocks, and the colors are just exceptional. This is really a very, very nice photograph. And I love the blues. The blues are very nicely highlighted. And, you know, shooting at this time of year, especially with streams and depending upon the time of day and what your lighting is, you can really get some exceptional effects. But this, unfortunately, is not a still life. So for that reason, I have to take it out.
44 is out.
Okay, we've got quite a few still in.
Yes, I need to pick 8. So I need to eliminate quite a few here.
Okay.
21.
Ed, can you work with the ones you have here?
Yes, I can.
This
Yeah,
is
this
fine,
will work
okay.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
this will work just fine. Okay, let's start with in the top row. Let's remove the baseballs and the shells.
Okay.
In the second row, let's remove the still life, the rodeo, the workers' tools, the black and white with the boots.
That one right there?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. And the knife cutting the red peppers.
Okay.
Okay, John, I got totally disconnected from the list, the numbers here, the item numbers. So my apologies.
No problem. I figured there were so many left. Well, we will be only stuck with the winners anyway. So then we can deduce the outs from there.
Okay.
I figured it might be a little quicker.
Okay, I still need to remove several more. Okay, top row. Let's remove the candle and book and magnifying glass.
That one there.
Yes.
Number 7.
Mm-hmm. Let's remove the number 8 tags and the yellow rose and pottery.
Okay. That was number 10 and number 18, Ron.
Okay, thank you.
Sticking with that top row, let's remove the violin, the F holes.
Number 28.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3 more. Let's remove, okay, top row. Let's remove the leaf, the far right, correct?
29.
Number 29, you say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Second row, let's remove the 3 seeds. The field grass that's gone to seed.
That one there.
Yep, Timothy's tassels.
Number 30.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4,
One more.
5, 6, 7, 8. One more. You guys are making this tough. But keeping with the theme, I hate to do this, but let's remove the cameras. Yeah.
Number 27.
Yeah. That was very well done.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have 1 through 4 and honorables. let me do the honorables first.
Mm-hmm.
So an honorable definitely will go to the fluorescence image.
Number 3.
Mm-hmm. And an honorable will go to the ensemble with the lipstick.
Number 41.
Mm-hmm. I'll give an honorable also to the pumpkins and flowers.
Number 35.
That was very well done. And I'll give an honorable to the glass jellyfish.
Number 14.
Right. So now I need to give you 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you've lined them up for me. Okay.
Is that the order you want them in?
No.
Okay.
I'll give first place to the pearls and bracelets.
Number 4.
Uh-huh. That's very well done. Number 2 will go to the fan and depression glass.
Number 40.
I'm sorry, what place is that again?
Second
2?
place.
Second.
Number 40.
Okay.
Third place will be the roses, and fourth place will be the death wish.
Okay. Third to number 15. Excuse me, Ron. Third to 15.
Okay.
And fourth to 33.
Still death. Sorry, death wish. That's very well done. No, I'm glad you guys are using titles. Seriously, because a lot of clubs don't. And that adds another dimension, if you will, to the image. It really does. Yeah, nicely done. I mean,
Okay.
what a great selection, guys. Yeah, very nice selection.
Well, we had you working pretty hard tonight, Ed.
That was, well, hey, I don't mind working to earn my keep.
And it was incredibly instructive. I mean, we picked up
Thank you.
on every image in or out. We learned a little something from each. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, let's see if we can attach some names to some of these pictures. We'll start off with the honorable mentions. Number 3, fluorescent under glass.
That's cool.
That would be Bob Weber. Congratulations,
Okay.
Bob.
Nice.
I hear you snickering back there in the background, Bob. Okay. Another honorable mention for number
clever.
14, the jellyfish. Okay, and that is Fred Venetia.
Nice.
Okay. Our third honorable mention is item number 35. And that's Gourds, and the creator is Louis Sapienza.
Nice. Nice combination of textures. Yeah, very nice.
Our fourth honorable mention is number 41, Vanity. And that happens to be Doug Wood.
Okay, that's cool. I'd love to see a face in the mirror. That would be haunting. That really could be a great image.
All right, and now to our first through fourth place. Let's start with number 4. That's the fourth place image. That's number 33, Still Death, also Bob Weber.
Okay, congratulations, Bob.
Item number 3, third place is item 15, Rose Cocktail. That's Louis Sapienza.
Okay, nicely done.
Okay, 4, 3. And I guess we need a 2 here. Here's one. Number 2 was second place was number 40, and that was Fan and Feather,
Right.
Jackie Colstock.
Nice.
All right, and now we have somewhere on these sheets, I think I had a number 1 someplace.
Yeah, this is well done.
Crystal, Gemstones, and Pearls, Jackie Colstock.
Wow. Very
Okay.
nicely done.
Had some duplicate winners here this evening, and
Yeah.
quite
Yeah.
an interesting collection. So, Ed, you've
Yeah.
again for your commentary on every one of these, you addressed the compositional issues and also the theme issues, which I'm sure has been a challenge for all of us.
Yep.
And I have to say, I did get an email from one of our members who, in submitting their material, their items for this contest, said they never worked so hard in their life trying to get images put together for this, and I totally understand.
This can be a challenge. I mean, you know, traditional still life. What I tried really hard to do here, you know, some people will be really picky about sticking to the theme, but you have some winners here tonight that are a little bit, you know, outside of the boundaries of traditional still life, but in my opinion, still our strict definition of what sort of image would fit that category with a little bit of creativity associated with it.
Well, Ed, that's been really helpful to all of us because we do have a print contest for Still Lives in 2 weeks.
Right.
So many of us will go back to the drawing board, I think, before we bring these back in. So thank you so much for an excellent evening.
No, thank you guys.
We'll send out your information about the art display coming up, and look forward
Thank you
to
very much.
seeing you in the near future, hopefully.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
Thanks so much. Good night.
You're welcome.
Good night, Ed. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Ron, I'll take it from here unless you have anything else.
I have nothing else. It's all
right. Well, I want to thank everybody for submitting such amazing images, and for all our winners, like we usually do with our digital photography contest. Please share them on our Facebook group. Tell us a little bit about how you shot it, how you lit it, and what you had to go through to get that amazing image. There were so many great ones. I want to go back to our schedule and remind people that next week we will be meeting in person and live streaming it as well. We have a program by Andrew Hoff on taking a different path, why I moved beyond landscape. And on October 22nd, that is Saturday, we have a field trip to Cunningham State Park. And I think that's all we got. So thank you all for joining us tonight. Congratulations to the winners. We'll see you next week. Good night.